All right, hello, welcome. This is your GM in the Great Barrier broadcasting from the center of your entertainment galaxy, and we are back with Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword. This is our game set in the 22nd century, or rather 23rd century, following the the Klingon ship Jan, not of the Empire proper, but an independent crew. Um, and we are coming back for the third part of our Spooksgiving episode. Um, and from where last we left off, our crew has had plenty of spooky experiences. Uh, it started off with the captain, Tabok, and his bodyguard Dakoth facing down a truly fearsome creature of some sort, something that appeared vaguely Klingon, but seemed to have some unusual adjustments, augments, or just changes in features that could not be quite discerned. They managed to ward it off and deal pretty significant damage. It was actually seeming to be on death's door, up to the point that it was beamed away mysteriously. Before they could fully reckon with that, something else beamed in, which turned out to be the ship's cook, Traven, who felt left out and wanted to be on the away team, um, or boarding party, rather.
Yeah,
He.
don't be bringing that Starfleet stuff in.
Fair enough, no Starfleet here. In any case, Traven did not die beaming over. The captain was able to show enough restraint not to shoot him, either for that and for the absence of snacks to his taste, what have you. Um,
Well, that and getting the guy running the transporter drunk off his ass.
among others. In any case, elsewhere aboard the ship, Dr. Kresick had an encounter of a very spooky kind himself. Whilst going through the logs of the ship's sick bay, where he had discovered that this freighter has been basically out in space for roughly 30 years, uh, he learned not only that there seemed to have been some sort of plague or disease that struck the Klingon crew and seemed to have driven them mad, but he seemed to learn a bit of the force that might be behind them. An ethereal seeming figure who greatly resembled an old Klingon Kuha, or rather a Hemhuk, the more the ridged type. He assumed that form with and took great height. But Kresick was able to get some readings, and with his fondness for the paranormal, or his hobby with that, he has gained greater insight into the situation. Um, while all of this has been going on, Kresick, or rather, Raldar, the ship's engineer, had a very difficult encounter, likely with the same spirit force that Kresick had dealt with, which very nearly irradiated him, and did try to dump plasma into the engineering pit. While Raldar was able to foul up the reactor to prevent that, it was nonetheless it still found ways to make it untenable to stay in engineering and force him to leave. Thus, the reactor pit was closed off afterwards. So, at the captain's order, the engineering team, or rather, Raldar is going down to try and find went down to try and find a way to re-engage the some sort of other reactor or find some other source of power on the ship that might allow them to re-engage a transport or basically get back to the Yan. While all this is happening, Azek, um, Kresick and Traven were tasked with looking about the ship for anything more they could find out. What we last followed at the end was Azek and Traven passing through the subdeck looking for an airlock, possibly to make an EVA, when, while in close proximity to Raldar, they were all ambushed by other creatures of the same sort that Tabak and Koth fought earlier. They managed to deal more of a terrible set of blows to some of the team, um, while Raldar came away unscathed and indeed excelled in the combat. Traven was pretty badly bloodied, and Azek, while mostly holding his own ground, was bitten by one of the creatures. Um, at this point, they managed to drive back the beasts or force them to be beamed out once more. They're still uncertain as to who's responsible behind that, but they have taken the moment to disengage from that combat, and now people are moving on. So I believe Traven and Azek, you were heading up or back up the ship, or are you still, in order to at least get treatment for Traven's blood, like significant chest gashes?
I have a weird question.
Fire away.
So do Klingon transporters and Federation transporters, do they look different aesthetically, like the beam? Or the way it
Abs-
comes down?
Absolutely. So
Have I seen this type of transporter before, or is it the same as Klingons?
it's very much a Klingon transporter beam.
Okay.
So you can at least be assured there that you would recognize what's going on. Um, or everyone has that same frame of reference. It is the very warm yellowish orange beam of light that in which the figure dematerializes. So, um, but going back to the question there, just to double check, the two of you, were you planning on still continuing the search, or were we going to get treatment for Traven's wounds?
Definitely treatment.
Okay, so um, I think we will go ahead and follow up with the two of you first as you make your way back up the ship. Um, you find your way back to the same sort of access point. I think we established that there were some working elevators here still, and in making your way back there, I guess do you try to raise
There'd
Kresick
probably
for?
just be the big freight elevator, just
Yeah,
like on our ship.
yeah. Would you attempt to raise Kresick first, or are you just heading up to where you knew like where you last knew him to be on the crew deck?
I'll call him. He's my best friend.
Copy that. Copy that. So, yeah. Traven, you get to the comms, and go ahead and open a channel.
Uh, Krasick,
This is Kresik.
have you ever jumped at the opportunity to see the insides of a Trill?
What happened?
Oh, they're out right now, and I got attacked.
What attacked you?
I turned to Azek. What attacked me?
It was just a little guy with a lot of teeth.
That is not correct. I remember him being fairly large.
Well, you are a short person.
That's so rude.
Get to sickbay now. Did
Got
did it bite you?
No. Did you get bit?
Another one bites the dust.
Wait, I might have gotten bit. I don't know.
I got bit. I definitely got bit.
Get to sickbay now. There is no time. You have been infected.
I should be fine. It's the worm.
Does this mean I'm going to become one of those were creatures they talk about in Earth mythology?
It means I believe those creatures were the crew.
Oh. Yeah, we'll come to you. Which sick bay? We have, well, I guess we can't get to the other one.
Get here now.
Okay. So,
Kresic to captain.
What?
Captain, these creatures, I believe they were the crew.
They're fairly ugly bastards.
I have
What makes you
sat.
say this?
There are records of some sort of disease spreading amongst the crew. And creating monsters. It is spread by fluids. Be watchful.
Right, don't step in anything. Got ya.
Or do not let them spit
I'm
on
not-
you
Ah,
or bleed on you.
good to know.
Azek has been infected.
Oh, I don't want to have to kill him yet. Can
If
you
all
fix
goes
it?
well, you won't. But this ship, we need to get off.
That is what we are attempting to do. Isaac was supposed to be looking for a vac suit. He was going to do a spacewalk over to the Yan. Because our transporter operator is currently unconscious.
I see.
Yes, well, we can thank our chef for that.
Be watchful. Be careful. If you get bit, let me know.
I will most definitely let you know.
And if you find the source of these creatures, I will be very interested in seeing them myself.
So would I. The ones that I have encountered before they died, they beamed out.
Beamed.
Yes.
Interesting. Can that be traced?
We have no power to trace it with.
If we have no power, how are they beaming?
I don't know. My tricorder is finding nothing.
What of the ship's sensors?
We have no power to make the ship sensors work. Raldar
Our ship.
We cannot communicate with our ship. No one is responding.
The cook again?
I do believe so. Although, even Woe knows how to push a button to respond to a hail.
I see. Very well. I will begin treating Azek when he arrives. And keep you informed of anything we learn.
Good. If I find anything, I will let you know. But I believe we've already examined almost every place on board this ship.
I see. Kresic out.
As you cut the line, Kresic, you have but a few moments of introspection. You stand alone in the old but not necessarily decrepit sickbay. The only thing that would truly meet that description is the corpse of the Klingon that had been exposed to whatever this disease, this plague was, and that had begun their mutation, but not before being sedated or otherwise restrained and prevented from being able to at least do more damage than it might have done while free. The medical tools are not ideal, but I'm sure that you have the medical equipment with you just as a force of habit to at least treat some minor wounds. I don't recall if you have any talents in meta that would allow you to overcome any sort of disadvantage in technology, but I suppose if somebody is particularly intrepid with a bit of engineering work, you might be able to get an assist from a ship. Or if you ask nicely, I suppose. But all of that said, that introspection comes to an end as the door to sickbay opens, and through it comes Traven and Azik.
Sup, Doc?
Hey, buddy.
As they walk through, in the minimal light, which is at least augmented by the flashlight you would have on your scanner, you can make out that between the two, just from the basic look, Traven appears much worse for wear than Azik. He's got the TOS style rips in his shirt, but also the actual, like, accurate claw marks and gashes across his chest, which are bleeding quite a bit. Azik, meanwhile, appears to at least be in somewhat good spirits, although I would expect maybe close examination of his one wrist would tell you that there is indeed signs of a wound there.
Traven, sit.
I sit down.
And I am going to see what I can do to help out Traven.
Okay. I suppose first off, just to get a chance to build up a little bit of momentum at the start. Um, if you want to conduct any scans to try and help you out, then I would give you a reason and medicine roll, and I would call this difficulty 1, just to basically triage his wounds. If you just want to go in to treat what is the very obvious wounds, then you may go in with control and medicine.
I would like to begin by scanning.
Okay. So
reason medicine.
Yep.
I'd imagine one of my focuses applies to xenobiology, emergency medicine.
Yes. That would definitely work here. Okay. So that does meet the difficulty of the task. Thankfully, you have conducted some preliminary scans before in Latrell, so you understand a bit of his physiology just going into this. And from what you can discern, things seem pretty straightforward. The nature of Traven's wounds here are definitely they definitely are focused solely on these very considerable claw marks, which very nearly like they got up to the rib cage essentially and almost dealt more significant damage past that. If the claw had come in at a different angle, it might have pierced deeper, punctured a lung, or even possibly damaged an artery or something of the sort. With the level of force that these things have displayed, You don't have a full scan or a complete record, particularly after that the other force you're dealing with seems to have erased some of the computer information. Um, but there's a distinct possibility with what capabilities you might know it already has, the wound could have been even more serious.
You are fortunate to be alive.
I get that a lot. How's it been going with you?
There is a phantom aboard this ship.
Doubt that. Sure, it's not like a hollow image or anything.
It presents through hollow images, but there is something aboard this ship. Isn't there, Phantom?
You are greeted with silence.
I know you're listening.
Wait, it's
Sound of
using the
silence.
hollow image to present itself?
Yes.
Have we checked the computer for a virus?
Do I look like I can manage computer diagnoses right now?
Oh, what?
Then sit still and let me treat you.
I don't like the silence, it kills me.
I would like to treat this fool.
Okay, reason and medicine, difficulty
Control and medicine?
control and medicine, yes, that is correct. Difficulty 2.
Oh, that's problematic.
Yes,
God.
that is. That is one success, but also one complication. Um, you do have 2 momentum left from last time, so you may buy that off. Otherwise, I would either say narrative or threat. Doctor, what are your choices? Or what is your choice?
You're only down to 1 threat. I think you could do with a couple more points of threat.
I will accept those 2 points of threat. So, that still leaves you a little bit shy. You may basically take this as a partial success, or you may um, you can choose to succeed at cost, which in and of itself would impose a complication.
I think a partial success is kind of fine, where I'm just able to, stop the immediate bleeding and anything that's going to kill him, but not actually like heal any wounds, if you will.
I gotcha. Okay. You adjust the whatever sort of equipment you have in terms of a dermal regenerator. You'd anticipated cuts, let's say. So you had tools that were modulated very much for that. However, the depth of the wound is a bit of a problem. It is more severe than what you were expecting to have to deal with. Combine that with the relatively unique physiology that you're dealing with for Traven. You find that while you manage to essentially close off the wounds temporarily, you find that the seal it's an imperfect regeneration essentially. There is risk over time that these will degrade, um, but it's probably something on the order of days if Traven takes it easy, and if a more stressful situation comes up, something closer to hours. You would definitely want to either get back to some of your other equipment or even Theon's medical technology. Any of that would be more capable of dealing with wounds these extensive. Um, for that, Kresik, I will also, just as an in-game thing, I will ask you to roll me your for with the challenge dice option. I will ask you to roll me um, two plus your medicine discipline. So that should be a total of 7. What I will do is I will cut that number in half, whatever you score from that, and that will be the amount of stress that is restored for Traven.
Sounds good.
Okay, so 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 there. So I'm going to round down and call that 3 additional stress that you get back, Traven.
Yeah, I'm at 2.
Yeah. So
That should handle the worst of the bleeding. You will need more treatment when we have the facilities and the time. Don't do anything that would reopen these wounds.
No guarantees. We're on a ship full of monsters.
That we are. Azek,
Yes.
how do you feel?
Peachy.
You were bitten.
Yes.
Let me see the wound.
All right. I show him where the wound was. I think it was on my chest, if I remember right.
I believe it actually bit your arm, like near the forearm or chest, or like wrist.
The left arm, right?
Oh,
If it was
correct.
the left arm, right? That would be weird because the right arm is all that's left.
Ah! Thank you. I set it up. You bring it home.
The joke doesn't work because he only has his left arm.
Yeah, I know. That's what made it even better.
Oh,
All right, so can I scan this? Can I scan this wound?
you may. And given what you're scanning for, I'm going to ask for a difficulty 2 reason and medicine roll.
How does everybody feel if I spend a momentum on this?
Feel free.
Go for it. It's either that or we have zombie Azek.
Where, Azek?
Well, just
Zombie
disarm him. He'll
Azek.
be fine.
Franken Azek. Or is it Frankenkorg?
Ooh, that sounds better.
Okay.
Ooh.
So that, Kresic, you roll 4 successes on the task. Thus exceeding the difficulty by 2 and gaining 2 momentum. I'll go ahead and deal that out for you. Let me roll a 1d4 here. Oh dear. Kresic, the wound itself is fairly superficial, but it does indeed seem to have done its work. While this is fairly simple for you to regenerate and repair, you are detecting signs of some sort of pathogen that is beginning to take effect. I would think that this appears to be some sort of viral form, although you will need more work in order to assess it. You think that as it could he would begin to start showing possible symptoms at this current rate of progression within 1 hour.
Okay, so I have the diagnostic expertise talent, which says that when I succeed at a medicine task to diagnose the nature of a medical problem, I gain 1 bonus momentum for every additional d20 that I buy
Okay,
by spending momentum,
so I believe that
which
would
can be
gain
used
you.
to obtain information or create advantage.
Okay, so that does give you 1 additional momentum used to either help you create an advantage or to obtain information. How would you like to use that?
Is there a way to slow the progression of this virus?
Hmm. That's for the obtain information, or are you? Okay.
Yes. Can I
So,
slow it down? I doubt I can stop it here, but can I slow it down?
no. The preliminary information that you are getting with the sort of the the handheld device you have, does suggest that whatever type of genetic engineering is going on, whatever manipulation of a virus has occurred here, the technique is interesting and definitely it could bear some study, but there are means by which you could probably at least counteract this. I would say that you might have some sort of like some sort of agent on you, effectively, um, some sort of generic antiviral that might inhibit its development for a time. You know that this would only be a band-aid essentially, or a stopgap measure, but it could effectively, I would say that it would give you at least double the time before Azek begins experiencing symptoms. Or where it reaches a count where it could start imposing those symptoms.
Azek, you have been infected.
That explains the bruised ego.
You have an hour before you start displaying symptoms.
I look around the sick bay. Is there a microwave?
There is not, unfortunately. Your
I
your
pull out
last got pocket will have to be eaten cold.
Oh.
Unless
Doc, can you heat this up?
Unfortunately, no. I can buy you time, but we need either information on this virus itself or my facilities to fully treat this.
Well, point me in the direction that you need me to go. What do you need me to do?
I had data. There was information on this ship about this disease that was stolen by this phantom. I need that information.
All right. Where's the first place we need to look?
Computer cores, if there is one, I suppose.
All right. I'll start heading that way, I guess.
I will come with you.
Y'all aren't leaving me here.
You can come with us as well, or you can stay here. Your choice.
Oh, there wasn't a question about it. I'm not staying here by myself.
Draven,
Death
Give
is
him a
fine.
gun. He'll be fine.
as you pass by a biobed, you see the skeleton of a long dead Klingon on the just near you.
See, you wouldn't be completely alone.
He was dying for a companion.
I will be right out. I just need to gather a few more supplies. I'll meet you in the hallway.
he ever saw Kresic.
With that, do you take Kresic's cue and exit out of the exit the sick bay?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you follow along as well?
I look
Isaac?
around to see if there's any more supplies, and then I just look back in the direction of where this phantom appeared. I know you can hear me. I know that you think you are playing God here. You think you can save your people. But while you have failed at playing God, you have made two mistakes. Because I have succeeded where you have failed. And because you have attacked my patients, you should have given me your name, because then at least someone would remember your failures. And I walk out.
Jeez, at some point I gotta make a video that's just a compilation of Kresic's greatest threats and takedowns. But you leave the sick bay, and whatever presence may have been behind there, if they give any inkling or any thought to what you said, they do not reply to you in words. But moving on from there, as the three of you leave the sick bay, let us look to where else things are going on the ship. Tabak, you've been updated now on the most recent attack, and have at least learned that something is being spread here by these creatures that you dealt with earlier. Taking this into account, is there anything that you would be seeking to do right now?
Well, the only places I don't believe I've managed to get to yet are the other decks in the engine pit, because that occupies like 4 out of 5 decks at the back of the ship, and then there are also the in the wing structures where the electroplasma conduits extend out to the nacelles.
There would be that, and there would be the cargo decks below. Uh, obviously,
Or those are cargo pods, aren't they?
well,
Didn't somebody check where those attach?
that is where Azek, Traven, and Raldar were heading at the time. Raldar wasn't necessarily focused on that element of it, but they had basically arrived in that main corridor and were looking around either to explore those or to see if they could. I think they were at that point looking for some sort of airlock, or had at least talked themselves into that idea by that time. And before they
To
could
check the cargo pods, right?
yeah, effectively before they could conduct that search, they were attacked.
Right. And that's when they got nibbled on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they didn't finish that out. So I'm still up, I think, sub deck, main deck, crew deck. I think I'm probably still on the main deck.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to transfer up to the crew deck to gain access to the engineering sections in the wings. Take a look out there. So go up a gangway and then head to the little hatch that'll take me out into the wings.
Okay. So, I presume that you have kept Dekoth with you this whole time, then.
Yes. Yes, I need a meat shield.
Indeed, so. Um, well, I would expect then you
Before I
might.
open any doors, I'm gonna, check with the tricorder and see if I can see anything interesting.
Yeah.
Not that
Go
I
ahead
really.
and give me a reason, and I would accept engineering or security here.
I will
And
do that with engineering.
okay, and I will call that difficulty 2.
Don't know if any of my foci will fit in on that.
Any
Ship shield systems, weapon systems, warp core systems, electroplasma. I'm pretty sure xenotechnology. Ooh, xenotechnology might work.
I
Looking for
actually
weird stuff.
I do think one I think that there are a couple that will apply here actually. So I will say that you do have a focus in use.
Alrighty then. Anybody okay if I grab uh, uh,
I am
an
more than
extra
okay
die
with
there?
this.
Okay, grab an extra die. Thank you. Krasek, if you would, thank you if you did that. And here we go.
Well then.
With 3 dice,
Wow.
you roll a single success.
Nothing. We had no complications though.
You had a 17 and an 18, which are not the closest, I suppose. I would have to make quite a threat investment, but they're not great. Um, so, Tabak, as you attempt to scan the other side of the door, I will at least give you that you detect no signs of um, bio readings of any sort out there. You can say with confidence, at least, that um, wherever these creatures are, wherever they are coming from, they are not in there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go look in there anyway.
Okay. So
With,
you,
am I gonna have to pop the door manually?
I think that that would indeed be something you would have to do for this.
Okay.
So
Do you want me
I'll,
to roll or just go ahead and say
I'll,
we do it?
I'll let you say you do it. Cut out a little bit of the tedium there.
Okay. So pumping the hydraulic handle with one hand and disruptor in the other.
Yep,
Off, and I are ready for anything to jump out of there because I'm paranoid now.
yep. So as you crack open the excuse me there. You crack open the hatch that would allow you to access the gangways around the EPS conduits. This part of the ship, a little more so than others, is a little bit cold to as you enter in. It doesn't seem like there was, in whatever time power was running on the ship, it doesn't seem like they were pumping much through any of the systems operational on the wings. The external sensor arrays probably weren't brought online for any major length of time, nor any of the warp coils. So
Yeah, and the volume to surface area ratio is skewed enough that it's going to bleed off a lot of the heat.
yeah. Let's see.
So
Tabak and Dekoth, you may both give me. Uh, I will say that you may both give me insight tasks, and one of them, well, you may either use. I'm going to make this variable in terms of disciplines. You may use security, medicine, or engineering.
haha, engineering, yes. Only 2 dice this time though.
hmm Uh, I'm going. Okay, well, that is 2 on there. So that will at least give you some answers on 1 point.
That's Dikoff.
Yep. Well, since Tabok beat me just a little bit to the punch on the roll, I will go ahead and say I was actually planning on giving you a difficulty 1 roll there, so I will award 1 point of momentum since Tabok has scored 2 successes.
Alrighty.
Tabok, you've obviously inferred as you look through that the EPS like the EPS conduits in this section were not a major focus, and likely that they weren't. Nobody who's been aboard this ship recently had made an attempt to activate the warp drive or anything else, anything that would have pumped more power into these systems here. It seems part of that may have been intentional, at least with the last bunch, because you have made out that there are signs of essentially some efforts at salvage, pulling away parts of the conduit, and it seems that somebody left some old, kind of janky-looking extraction materials, or like basically ship-breaking material.
A
See,
Creel crowbar. A Creel crowbar.
yep.
Okay. Somebody left a foobar behind. Great.
Yep. Speaking of Creel, Dekoth, you notice down the end of the corridor what appears to be a severed Creel arm that has fallen on the ground. Or not to say that it just fell, but you see basically a little ways down the gangplank with whatever like light you have. I will go ahead and be generous, presume that you all brought torches with you, except for Traven, because of course he didn't.
Well, a flashlight anyway.
Yes,
Really bring a torch.
yes. When I say torch, I mean flashlight here. In any
I
case,
know exactly what you mean. I'm sorry.
yes. In any case, there is a severed Creel arm just down the way.
Captain, there appears to be a severed arm down that corridor there, and I kind of motion towards it.
Just with, I know it's cold down there. Can the tricorder tell me, like, is it dangerously cold down in there?
Not dangerously cold. There was some effort to put at least minimal life support in this area. However, it's definitely not comfortable.
Right. And I'm assuming the Creel arm doesn't look like it's been sitting there for 30 years.
Most definitely not.
So
I dare say there's a bit of a smell to it.
Okay, so it's been there long enough to begin decaying. Can I see from where I am what's the separation point look like? Hacked, burned, phasered / disruptored off? Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber? What? Sorry, wrong universe.
I think that from where you are standing, because it is just I mean, obviously there is not that much space here, but from what you can discern, it looks pretty gnarly at the severed end. It wouldn't be too surprising if whatever it were was something far, I wouldn't say blunter, but let's say more primitive. A
Am I looking at?
prolonged gnawing, perhaps.
Oh, it's been gnawed upon.
Th- This
Okay.
is,
I thought it was just severed or forcibly removed.
I
No,
mean,
it's been
that's all possible. That's more to give you an
okay.
idea that this was it was a very ugly way to remove the arm, presuming that presuming the Creel was still alive when that happened, it would have undoubtedly not been a very quick way of having it done. It would have been quite painful.
Okay. Is it the whole arm, both upper and lower?
Yes.
Okay, so upper arm. Am I seeing the big knob of the ball joint for the shoulder?
I think you could just make that out.
Oh. And is there enough blood to suggest the rest of the body was
I mean,
like it was removed nearby?
there's a pretty good pool, but it's hard to say for sure.
All right. And I'm not detecting any other life signs in what is essentially a glorified crawl space here.
No sign of any life forms. You're actually finding that you're having just a little bit of difficulty with the sensor range, or like with the Klingon equivalent of an engineering tricorder. The rules generally state that it's something on the order of 10 meters, or I guess if we're going consistent with Klingon readouts, then 10 cams. That just sounds silly. Anyway, but it all does. It's all made up. Um, in any case, you're finding that your sensors are just, rather, your tricorder for some reason is not going as far as you would like for it to, or your scanner at any rate.
Right. There's plenty of hide places. There's plenty of things to hide behind in the wing.
Certainly,
Oh.
certainly.
Oh, does this thing have? Oh shoot. Does this particular vessel have nacelles, or does it use the wings themselves as the warp coils?
I believe that this configuration of vessel has has nacelles.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't want to go down there then. If I'm not picking up anything.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
reason,
no, just close that hatch back up.
Captain, is there any anything explosive down that way?
If there's no plasma in the EPS conduits, no. There may be an emergency fusion reactor back in there for impulse drives, but that gets powered. That gets its plasma from the warp system. There
I'm
might be some energized coils down in there, or some relays, or some
okay.
or some capacitance.
I was thinking that if there's something down there and this is the way out, a nice disruptor shot might scare whatever it is down there towards us.
Well, we can't break anything down there with the disruptor.
In that case, I pull my disruptor and I aim it at the hand.
okay. Do you wish to take a shot, Dickoth?
Yep.
Okay. Control and security difficulty 2.
Captain said that nothing would break with a disruptor, so
It shouldn't.
Force.
Oh, great heavens!
The energies that are running through those systems are far stronger than anything we can pump out of a disruptor pistol.
Dickoth, with pinpoint accuracy, you aim your disruptor, squeeze the trigger, a green bolt soars down the compartment, crackling and disrupting the atmosphere around it, and illuminating the corridor with much more brilliant, sickly light, before connecting with the remnants of the creel, at least what you can discern of it, and vaporizing it on the spot. There's no further reaction from anything there, but you do gain 2 momentum.
We take these.
We'll take them happily, yeah.
well, that answers that.
Well, nothing else is down here. How bad did they break things?
It seems like the Creel had only just started their work here, pulling things apart. The way that they work sometimes, if you intend on salvaging this ship, it may behoove you to double check and make sure that they didn't already remove the most valuable components or otherwise cause some damage. For all you know, presuming you can handle the problem with whatever presence is here and exterminate whatever creatures seem to haunt your every step, uh, the Creel might have already fouled this ship up, uh, for all you know.
Yeah, they've probably already taken apart some of the EPS conduits. They're probably the ones they took are probably floating around as in particulate matter out in space after their ship got blown up.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and yeah. At this point, I have given up hopes of salvaging this ship, and just want to figure out what's going on and then get the hell out of here.
Tabok's dreams of fleet are put off for another day.
At the moment, yeah. Uh,
Hey, on
so
the
I
bright
guess we're gonna have to go to the other side of the ship, the other wing.
Okay. Well, we'll leave you to do that. Raldar, you were just saying something there.
on the bright side, we can test our disruptor cannons
Soon, yeah,
soon.
Yes.
soon.
Once everybody is off the ship.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yep. And speaking of Raldar, I think that it's time we check in with the ship's engineer. So, back down on the subdeck, you have managed to just sort of contain the burst of whatever gases were vented here, and managed to it like a short time ago you had been able to defeat the whatever creatures these things were, um, though not without Traven and Azek suffering some injury here. Nonetheless, you live to fight on with the ship and try to conduct some sort of repairs, try to restore power systems, something of the sort. Um, so, with all of that said, is there anything you would like to prioritize, or anything you'd be up to right now, in particular?
At this point, has this hallway power relay basically just been a dead end?
I would say this particular auxiliary node is just being stubborn, or it may have already been drained, whether just at some point over the past expanse of time that it's been out, or perhaps by the Creel earlier, or maybe there's just a computer here that doesn't like you and is intentionally shunting power away. Who's to say? Or it could be a ghost.
It's a ghost.
I mean, of course it's a ghost. We know it's a ghost. Well, maybe I can check some of the cargo bays and see if I can find a portable power generator. Maybe something for emergencies.
Okay, so you begin moving down elsewhere into one of the cargo bays, which I will. Oh dear. Sadly, that this page has been full of jank at different times. I will just theater of the mind us so as to not incur too much of a problem here. So, Raldar, you make your way through the subdeck and find your way towards one of the cargo compartments that are on this. You know that while there are separate cargo pods that are attached to the belly of the ship and along parts of its neck, um, they, these types of freighters still also carry fair-sized cargo compartments of their own. They are compared to the Yan and the Raptor-type vessels. These freighters are half as long, but much more sort of squat, and or they've got more bulk in their midsections, and that can be further augmented with the exterior cargo containers. So
I see.
you enter the cargo bay. Um, as with much of the rest of the ship, it is sparsely illuminated. What emergency lights might be functioning or might have come back online with the brief period of charge that you had given them when power was restored. Uh, some of them are obscured by the array of cargo and other containers here. There are numerous barrels, crates. I would say that some of them are on racks stacked at least too high, or such to where they get fairly close to the ceiling. I would imagine that they required some equipment or adjustment to the local gravity in order to remove some of these items here. Uh, it is not necessarily the safest setup, but then that's never necessarily been the emphasis on board, even a freighter, but certainly any Klingon ship. There is just much more assumed risk, let us say.
I see.
So, you wanted to look for a power generator or something else of the sort. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you prefer to try to use your engineering scanner to locate equipment that or some other auxiliary node within this freighter, or would you prefer to try to intuit or maybe get into some of the crates on your own and try to look for it that way?
Yeah, I'm looking more for like an emergency supply or something. Or I think messing with the actual ship node is kind of moot when I tried to blow up the reactor.
That's perfectly fair. But the question stands, how would you prefer looking for these things to start with?
Can I scan for inert power cells?
I will allow you
For
to
the-
do that. In here, I'm going to ask you for a reason and engineering task. I am, however, going to ask you to do this at a difficulty of 4, and I'm going to, actually, I'm going to hold off on that, but yes, a difficulty of 4 will be for this task.
How much momentum you want?
I want to hit. You fine with giving me 3 and just
I'm fine with
seeing
that.
it? Yeah. So we can equal out this 4 dice.
Okay, you spend 3 points of momentum to buy 2 additional d20s, which, on top of your base level, will allow you to roll 4 in total.
It's not what I wanted to see, my guy.
That with okay, well, Taybok, you have not
Swing,
taken
bada,
the
bada, bada,
worst roll
swing.
this evening. With 4 d20s, Raldar, you roll a single success, and then a 16, an 18, and a 20, which is a complication. So,
That was recent security. Would that have changed
Oh
anything?
no.
Okay.
yeah, well, that
You
it's
don't have any
definitely
reroll talents, do you?
Uh, No, not for no.
Okay, well, you have a couple of options here. First, just in terms of the complication as a general matter, if you just want to try and go with this roll, then I will allow you to either buy that off with 2 momentum, you can give me threat, or you may accept a narrative complication. There is also, because I am a nice GM that has just permanently lived with this house rule, I do allow people back their point of determination every session as opposed to over the course of the adventure. So if you want to invoke one of your values here, you could use that to re-roll your pool.
Mm. Yeah, I don't really have a good value for this.
Very well. Then how do you wish to contend with how do you wish to deal with that complication there? Buy it off, give me threat, or take the narrative complication?
I will take the narrative.
Okay. Raldar, as you begin to try and conduct the scan, you try to extend out the range as far as you can and set it to be as intense relatively as you can. Very quickly, you find that your scanner just runs into extreme interference of some sort, as if there's essentially some sort of EM field of some sort in place, but you can't guess the specifics of it. You don't have a good sense of where it's coming from. It's come out to the point that, while you think you get a readout on at least some items in the area, which there might be some vague inclinations of a power node or something on the other end of the room. That's about all you get before the field disruption seems to increase and your scanner is practically inoperable. So, in essence, any scans you attempt to conduct in this room are going to be done at an increased difficulty.
I mean, difficulty 4 or 5, whatever. Fine. We'll look the hard way. I need
Okay.
those power cells, so let's see.
Well, as you start looking around, actually, as I'm thinking about it, that complication would extend to some of your other equipment. You try to pull out your flashlight in order to gain more of a look, but the light is exceptionally dim, so it occurs to you that outside, very likely of your disruptor, which would have extremely heavy shielding, if something is dampening your ability to use your scanner in here, your other equipment might not be as feasible either. So, I will at least give you, since you have a general idea of where there might be some sort of power signature, I will allow you to still run an insight and engineering. However, in the absence of a light, I think that I'm going to say the difficulty on this one is also 4. And I'm going to spend a point of threat to increase your complication range.
Alright. Okay.
Raldar must suffer.
Oh, who said that?
I don't know, but I agree with them. Raldar must suffer.
I never told you my name!
Indeed not. Everyone treat that exchange as non-canonical. So, want to take that gamble once more?
Sure. I feel lucky. I'm not going to spend any momentum, though. So, low chances.
Okay.
I just want to make that spin at least.
Yeah. Just remember, this is insight and engineering this time.
Right.
Oh,
Well, that is 3 successes. You are only 1 short of the 4, so I would allow you, if you wish to succeed at cost, that would either come out to a narrative complication or a single point of threat. I will allow you the choice.
I will succeed at cost with that narrative complication.
Well,
You don't
Raldar,
deserve threat.
Raldar, you look along the bow wall of the cargo compartment that you are in, hunting for any signs of these power converters, rather the power cells that you were looking for. Several of the crates come up empty, or at least with either material that is useless, or in at least one case, when you pop one open, long since decayed and clearly something that was organic. It's like, imagine if you had left a whole loaf of bread in a bag and forgotten about it for months, left it unrefrigerated, and whatever that became in the seal, you get that, and you multiply that by many times, and you get that sort of sealed, broken down, organic, horrible smelling mess just inside the one container, which, to your Gordon sensibilities, I think or it would definitely not appeal to your sense of smell.
Gross.
Yes.
yeah.
As you move back in
Gross.
disgust, you notice that there's just a little glint of the emergency lighting that actually betrays signs of what appears to be a seam in the bow wall ahead of you. It traces from the top to the bottom of the top to the bottom of the deck, or like
I
the top to the
see.
bottom of the compartment.
I gotta go through the stink to get to it.
Well, it occurs to you that this is behind some cargo containers of varying sorts, so it is nonetheless, it does appear to be a door of some sort, or an exceptionally
Alright.
large one.
No smell. Stop the warrior.
Mm.
Let's go. Yarp.
Trying
No,
to
it's a barbaric yop, not a barbaric warp.
I was thinking of the alien, the elites from Halo.
Ah, okay.
What?
Warp.
What?
Oh dear. Anyway, so are you trying to get through the door then?
Yes.
Okay. You try to begin searching for some sort of control, when you hear, again as if just over your shoulder, "And what precisely do you think you are doing here?"
Frankly, none of your business.
Then allow
Spirit.
allow me to be equally frank. Your journey, I think, should stop here. The question, if I were to do so, would you aim to press on and to see that glimpse of greatness and even to give yourself to it? Or do you have the sense to finally follow my commands and to turn back from that which you cannot know?
I have set my mind to a duty. I will not let I want to let Kalis himself tell me otherwise. I've set my mind to something and I will finish it.
You see yourself as worthy of consideration by Kalis. I suppose you think one day you might make it to Stavokor.
I'll make it closer than you ever did.
Very well, warrior. It gets louder and like something rougher seems to grind behind that voice. You wish to know greatness. You may yet yield something special, and if not, you shall build upon the future of other warriors. And with that, Raldar, let us see whether this roll succeeds here. Let's see. So that would be. Well, with computer expertise, it does gain that, and it has the focus. So. Raldar, you feel you get the unusual sensation that you don't recognize at first, but you realize it is attempting to lock a transporter beam on you as you get the feeling of it trying to establish a field, like the annular confinement field around you. You realize, however, that it is not moving nearly as smoothly as it is. Clearly, whatever dampening or field or interference has disabled your own equipment is causing the same problems for this, or it is creating issues for it to lock on. So you could still escape potentially, or attempt to disengage from this. The trick would be probably trying to escape its target lock somehow before it tries again.
Well, we do a jump back and we turn on the universal lockpick. The rifle.
Copy that. You start darting around trying to do as much as you can to interfere with the signal. It's probably still more so the dampening field that's doing this, but you think that maybe, just maybe, that will help. You unsling your rifle, and there are no targets that would immediately present themselves as actively. Do you try to take a shot in any particular direction?
The door
Okay.
that I was trying to find access to.
All right. Control and security. Will still be difficulty 2 to take the shot.
Take aim. Fire!
Okay, that is 3 successes there. Go ahead and roll me damage here with that rifle. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, so with the rifle damage there, you manage to at least singe it, like singe the door to the door in the bow of the cargo compartment. However, it is a very thick door. You could imagine that I don't know, as far out as like from where you are, the maybe it's that this is connecting to something else, or that you're in a more sensitive part of the ship, as it is the compartment is how best to put this? You are near the exterior hull, so perhaps things are just a little bit thicker here, but your souped up disruptor rifle is not quite doing the trick to get through this door. It is something larger and thicker than what you've had to deal with to this point. That said, you do still get a momentum back.
Yay.
Not going without a fight, then. You may be mere Hadebach, but maybe there is some inkling of something Klingon. Perhaps you have been well trained, like a good pet dog. And with that, it is going to attempt another task. So once again, applying computer expertise. Its focus here will apply. Raldar, as you try to fire desperately at the door, it continues to taunt, and you find that before you have a chance to move, this time the transporter has truly found you, and the your vision floods with yellow and gold, and for that moment you feel scarcely anything through the transporter beam. You have I imagine that there's some sense of yourself, as Trek is sometimes portrayed within like with use of the transporter, but the one thing that you begin to lose any sensation of is the hold of the disruptor rifle in your hands. And
Of
you,
course, you would take that away from me.
yep. Alas, from here you are beamed away, and we are left with an empty cargo bay. Or one empty of anything living. And so we cut away from that. Yep. Let's see, at this point, I guess. Yes, very good. Say whatever else you like about the chief engineer, his soundboard is unparalleled. Certainly in this group, at least. Let's see here. So I guess we should bounce back around to the Dr. Traven and Azik. Let's see here. Just to recall, Kresic, had you administered the... I don't recall. Had you created the advantage to administer the agents that would at least temporarily slow down Azik's...
I had not
progression?
yet. We flitted away, but I would like to.
Copy that. Okay. Well, you do have 2 momentum on hand, so that, or rather, you have 5 momentum on hand, so you may spend those 2 in order to do that. We will cut back to you, where after you've already seen to the wound on his wrist, and you have finished formulating the agent with what equipment you have on hand, we cut to it just as you were you get the right display of lights on your device to show you that the mixture is ready, and you're able to give Azik the hypo to the neck, basically.
That will buy you some time.
How much is it going to cost me?
A leg.
about that. I guess it does give me a leg up on the situation, so it's a fair trade.
The
Your
computer core, where would it be?
You're the educated one. I pilot the ship. That's what I do.
Everybody roll me a reason in engineering with a difficulty of 2. Or, if you don't want to remember it yourself, you can always call one of your engineers. Technically, one of them is your captain, but he still has a habit of that. But who needs to do that when Azek suddenly remembers, and Kresik scores a complication there?
I do. Great times all around.
Traven, do you want to get in on this, or are you just happy to be along and to be alive?
I think he's currently AFK.
I missed that. So we will just go from there. And I also see there's one thing. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Apologies there. Just a moment to let my brain reset. Azek, you would actually, the moment those words leave your mouth, it occurs to you that, at least if this were built like the Yon, then there actually ought to be a computer core in a relatively obvious place. You recall that the main computer, at least aboard the Raptor class vessel, such as your own, is located directly below the bridge on the subdeck, or more accurately, below the navigational control room, which is just forward of your bridge. So, the design principles likely follow.
All right, head that way then.
Yep. Kresik, with that complication there, I must ask, do you wish to buy that off? Do you either by giving me 2 momentum, or rather by spending 2 momentum, giving me 2 threat, or by taking a narrative complication?
Give me the narrative.
Very well. As the 3 of you move along, Kresik, you take another quick scan. These readings are preliminary, but the sensor, your medical scan is not showing promising signs with the treatment. You're not certain whether that will indeed buy him as much time as you had hoped.
All right, I'm going to just keep that to myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can't really help him to know, but it's not going to hurt anyone yet.
Yep. So away we go to the wonderful land that is the computer core.
Yes. So you make your way forward to the bridge. Let's see. Sorry, just answering your question there. Okay. So back aboard heading through the, I guess the main deck, having come down through the crew deck already, I would say that you probably just narrowly missed the captain coming through. He's probably gone over to the other wing. But it is a relatively quiet venture. The bulkhead just before the bridge is still partially or only partially open. You can still all pass through it, although Kresic, it is slightly more difficult for you. The jagged edges of the doors, like a maw that would bear down on you. You enter you enter from the bridge, and well, actually, that would be a good question. Are you aiming to? I'm going back to my map here because it occurs to me I don't think that I don't think there's an access way from the. Well, no, it looks like there is an access way to go down to the subdeck just before the bridge. Check me on that, Tabok. I know you remember the maps well.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
There's like an access ladder from the main deck to the subdeck just before the bridge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are actually several, but along the neck you actually have to pop hatches in the decking to get to them. But yeah, there's one that's definitely right there behind the bridge.
Yeah, so I think the idea was to go up to where the bridge was and to go down into the subdeck where you find yourselves just shy of the main computer room. The door here is locked. Or
Excellent.
it does not open to you.
Excellent. Is there a manual release? Do I have to brute force this?
Azek knocks on it.
There does appear to be a manual release. However, Kresic, you actually note the door panel here is illuminated.
Interesting. So the panel itself?
When you attempt to tap on the panel, you get a buzz to indicate a non-responsive console or a refused command.
I am going to try to brute force this door open.
Okay. Does anybody want to assist him there?
Yeah, I'll give him a hand.
Okay. You give him the one hand you can, and
Sorry, that was funny.
Yep. I'm going to call this control and security, or actually, this is more fitness and security. I'm going to call the difficulty on this. I think I'm going to set this up to 4. And yeah, Azek, you may of course assist. Kresic, you are good to roll as well.
Can I spend a momentum?
I
First
will,
of all, Azek, it's just one die.
yeah, just a single
sorry.
die. I'll definitely let you re-roll that because we do. Yes, that would be good. Okay, so Azek has rolled a single success to assist. If you get a success, and that at least counts for it, you would need at least 3 in order to
Succeed.
yes.
And I did buy an extra die.
You bought an extra die, you said?
Yeah, I spent the momentum to buy an extra die.
Excellent.
Excellent, Smithers.
That's not what I wanted to see. My God. It's my turn to roll all the complications this time around.
Yep, that
Good
is
Lord.
a single success with a 17, which is a fail, but not critical. But there is a 20, which is a critical failure, so that would mean a complication. All right, so the question comes, Kresic, if we're going with this, do you wish to A, spend the momentum to buy that off, B, give me threat for that, or C, accept a narrative complication?
Could I do a 50-50 of momentum and threat?
I will
Spend the
accept this.
momentum and give you a threat?
I will take 1 point of threat and allow you to spend 1 momentum.
I didn't know we could bargain.
Hey, the worst that can happen is the GM says no.
I've come to bargain.
That's not inaccurate.
Traven for Azic's other arm.
That's a pretty good deal, actually.
Oh dear, we're going a bit Full Metal Alchemist there, aren't we?
Yep.
You'll be fine.
Traven
So
is
the door
just
won't
a
budge.
Traven is just a suit of armor.
With a 1 insecurity.
Yep.
That actually kind of fits.
Yep. It's more ceremonial than functional.
Uh-huh.
But no, as to the door, your best efforts of this very old, wizened Klingon and your and you, the large Gorn Doctor, you are not quite able to wedge the door open. Even this would suggest the door is actively being locked, which at least tells you something.
Kresic to the captain.
What?
The door to the computer room is locked and powered.
Why are you going to the computer core?
To get information on this disease, so I can hopefully save your helmsman.
And you're assuming that it would be in the computer core?
I saw data in sickbay before it was removed by the Phantom.
Ah. Isn't Raldar near you? Can he not assist you?
Kresic to Raldar.
You receive no answer. You know, that's appropriate. I'd almost deem that canon.
That did not sound good.
This place is getting worse all the time.
I will be there momentarily.
Good.
Guess where I'm heading.
Mm-hmm. So, after a relatively fruitless search of the opposite wing of the ship, which you'd been in process of doing, you make your way down to the subdeck and to the area where you find Traven, Azik, and Kresic, all before a locked and powered door. Since everyone is in the scene here, I will go ahead and assume the guise of, I will assume Dekoth.
Sounds good.
So, Tabak, you are on the scene now.
All right. I will attempt to override the door.
All right. Please give me a control and engineering roll, if you please.
All right. I only get the 2 dice. You want to give me a momentum?
It's up to you.
I'll take a momentum.
That's good
Give me 3
because
dice.
computer expertise applies, and this is an opposed task.
Okay.
Ooh.
However, it only rolls 1 success. That's disappointing.
That's not disappointing to me. That's really not disappointing to me.
I think
There we go.
I am frustrated that that is a thing, but you know, I will allow you to be a little bit clever as its intentions are elsewhere right now. Tabak, you manage to, when you find that something
Someone's
is
fighting me to get this door open.
Yup, you kind of, I'm going to say that you you decide to pull a bit of a hybrid scenario, whilst creating a number of queries to like momentarily divert it and like doing your best one-handed coding game. You kind of pull away a panel and start finding like just you have a good guess of where chords are that you can effectively rip out with a surgeon's precision that would effectively disrupt the function or proper processes going on here. So
And I
I'm
just
going.
keep whoever it is distracted by pushing all the buttons in the panel while I
Yep.
rip the gut out of the wall.
Yep. So even a Klingon bit of control adds an element of daring, one might say, as you manage to disrupt the uh, computer system long enough to get those commands going. And yeah, you manage to uh, override the door controls, and it begins to open for you.
Okay.
And I drew the momentum, just so you're aware. I drew it already. That we gained from that.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. Inside?
There's not a lot
Sure.
of room in there. It's a big
Yeah.
computer core with some access panels and some
Yep.
service ducts.
Yep. And it is noticeably warmer in here than it was outside the corridor. This computer is working quite hard, it would seem.
Is there a spot that is warm enough to set my Gok pocket on to warm it up?
I'm sure you could find something.
Okay, that's what I do.
Yeah, we're on top of the computer core, which is also on top of the directly on top of the torpedo launcher.
The freighter doesn't have a torpedo launcher.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay, cool.
No.
Were you thinking about throwing Azek out a torpedo launcher thingy because of the hot Gok pocket or because of the bite?
¿Por qué no las dos?
Yeah, I was going to
Dos
get.
buenos. Dos es buenos. The Klingons are speaking really bad Spanish.
Yes, yes. Ah, yes, the other universal language.
Me no hablo en español, por favor.
All right.
In any case, I was expecting the mathematician's answer there.
So the computer is running. So it's
Running
warm.
overtime.
Well, a computer this big is going to pump out a lot of heat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If the air circulators aren't pulling that heated air away to condition it to something, it's just going to get really warm in here. So, are there programs running? I mean, obviously, there's going to have to be something big running, and then I'm also going to start looking around for frickin' power. Where the heck is it getting power?
It seems as well, that would be hard to discern just from the look around. I suppose you may attempt to access a terminal in the main computer.
Yeah, there's like a half dozen of them.
Yep.
Mostly for maintenance. So yeah.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and I guess give me a reason and engineering roll, and I am going to spend 1 point of threat to increase your complication range by 2, or by 1 rather. Up to 2. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab another momentum.
Sure thing. What's the difficulty?
The difficulty, I believe I'd said was 2 initially. I really should have gone up there, but I'm going to commit.
All right. Well, I don't think any of my focuses actually fit unless xenotechnology would fit again.
No, this is all Klingon tech.
Yeah. So
older tech at that.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of used to that at this point.
Yep.
But so no focus. Um, yep, here we go. Ooh.
Very good, very good.
Tabok, there is pretty clearly signs of something accessing systems from the freighter. First, in terms of power, it seems as though there is something being shunted from some sort of from elsewhere in the ship. It doesn't seem to be a power source properly connected in any of the ship's systems. Uh, neither the so effectively neither these commands nor the power systems are actually native to the ship per se. Um, things are being shunted and accessed because of the what seems to be some, perhaps I would say, since systems are functioning a bit inconsistently right now, particularly with the air circulation. Um, I would say that that's part of the reason why the computer is as warm as it is, since
Yeah,
it seems that it has been running a bit harder for at least the past probably 12 hours at least, which might give you a sense of time so far as how long the Creel were on board the vessel.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yep.
But the power is not coming directly from any of the ship's systems.
No, it seems like some of them might be supplemented from limited auxiliary power, most of which obviously the reserves that were quite drained, and uh, you know it seems as though from what you're accessing, the systems might have been in standby mode for a long period of time, and
Okay, so
cut to
the computers are basically running off of battery backup power, not any active power systems.
well, that's what is supplementing it, but there does seem to be another power source that has kicked on. One, once again, not directly from the ship's main power systems. So the fusion reactors are down, or at least the ones in the impulse drive are down. The warp reactor is down. Near as you can tell, power is being fed from something uh,
Can I pull
attached
up
or
a
near the
schematic?
subdeck. Yeah, near as you can tell, this is being done from somewhere in the subdeck,
Okay,
or
I
possibly.
can pull it.
Go ahead.
I can pull up a schematic of where the power is coming from.
Yep, I'd be willing to go so far as to give you that, and yeah, at this point, it's pretty clear there may be something to like what appears to be from the readout. It's coming from one of the cargo pods.
Hmm. So somebody routed power. There's a power supply in a cargo pod, and they've routed it up to the computer. Okay. Can I interrupt any of the processes that the computer is running?
You may attempt to do so. I will call that daring and engineering, however. It will be contested by the control and engineering of your adversary.
Okay. Now, can the ship assist me at all, seeing as I'm in its brain?
Hmm. I think that I would consider that a wash right now, merely because like while you are. Hmm, I think that this would effectively. Okay, two scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
One, since you are effectively trying to contest control, or there's something with, even though you are located more immediately where this is,
I can just start yanking isolinear chips and
well, yeah, if you want to just like knock out the core, if you're looking to gain control and still be able to use it to your advantage in some way, then um, those might be two different well,
Okay.
Do
Can
you
I
want?
find? Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
go
I
ahead.
just needed to ask some questions.
Yep.
Can I locate whatever the data was that Presic had seen? It's obviously medical logs. Can I find medical logs in the computer core?
I will freely give you that you are able to locate the queries that and commands that occurred which disrupted those files or which removed them from access from for Kresic from sickbay. Those files seem
Okay.
to have been copied, but they were copied to something that was sent out of the main computer system. All trace that is aboard the freighter main computer proper has been
Mhm.
purged.
Okay. So they
They
removed
downloaded.
permissions, downloaded them, and then erased them from the computer core
Yep.
into whatever secondary device is down there in one of the storage pods.
Yep.
Okay. Can I tell what the processes are that the computer is working on right now?
Yes, I will. I will give you that much. So there are a couple of processes that are active right now. One would be an active, like some sort of active program that seems to be essentially charging the structural integrity field of the ship, um, but doing so in a very unusual way, sort of creating a residual EM effect of some sort. Um, there are a few passive programs that are regulating life support systems, and there seems to be.
Where where is it? Okay, where are these life support systems being regulated? Because life support's not functional right now.
I thought that you'd reinitialize some of that. I may be mistaken.
We hadn't reinitialized them. The Creel may have, but when we got on board, all we have is the air that's still here in the ship, and
I
it's
see.
getting a
I see.
little stale.
I see. I went back through my notes on this. This came probably briefly from the when you guys reinitialized main power or at least auxiliary power for a moment. Um,
Okay,
some power seems to have been fed in some of the life support systems. It seems like it
okay.
was concentrated, interestingly, in a few areas that you have inhabited previously. There was a little bit of effort, particularly in the subdeck main corridor, um, in the area around the uh, mess hall, and a few other areas of the ship. It seems like some power is being committed to the engine room, or yeah, the reactor pit rather, and to the bridge as well. Um,
Power for what?
life support, basically,
Okay,
or
just for life support. Okay.
yeah. Um,
Okay, so we've got some life support functions that seem to be barely working.
yes. Someone
We
wants to.
have. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, we've got a power supply in the pod.
Yep. And there's an unusual charge to the structural integrity, which
Hmm.
I'll go ahead and ask you. Just give me one insight and engineering roll, and I'll set this one to difficulty 1. That is 2 successes there. Tabak, it occurs to you the reason that you might not have heard anything might just have less to do with the fact that Traven completely messed up the transporter operator and possibly other members of the crew. I mean, still non-zero chance that that has some involvement. But the
We're
hull is
being
being charged.
blocked.
Yes, the hull is being charged in such a manner as to completely jam um, the your external communications, as
Yep.
well as making the sensor scans that much more difficult.
Okay. Can I isolate the isolinear chips that are currently making that um, process function properly?
I will give you that you can
I
probably
just want to
find that
locate I want to find the address for those and yank them.
that that equivalent here with early 23rd century tech, since I don't even think duotronics are actually a thing right now.
Well, the Klingons, believe it or not, were actually slightly more technologically advanced than the Federation. We have transporters. Enterprise had one that did things it wasn't supposed to do.
I'd buy that. So there are
Yeah, I mean,
duotronics on board.
yeah, the Klingons built stuff off of
Herc.
their spaceship technology was built off the Herc. So
Indeed. So yes, you could locate and isolate that. It will still be daring and engineering, and it will be contested.
Do you want a momentum?
yeah,
You just
I'll
got one back from that
Yeah,
roll.
I'll take it. I'll take it. There you go.
You attempt to.
All right. Can I hold on? Can I spend my determination and
With,
get a reroll of some?
okay, with what value? What are you
This
invoking?
damned machine will do as I wish it.
That is an excellent value to use. You may re-roll as many of those d20s as you wish. Since you have scored one success, I will presume that you are re-rolling the 2 zeros.
That is correct.
Okay. You rolled 2 addition. Yep. So with the original roll, you had scored 1 success against the 2 of your adversary. However, by invoking that value and spending your point of determination, you gain 3 total successes. So,
And a lot of swearing.
yes, with that, you manage to isolate those and pull away the proper isolating circuits, or duotronic circuits. Thus,
Just rip open the control panel and just pull the shit out. There we go. Someone try to contact the ship.
Dekoth,
contact the ship.
Yeah, Dekoth immediately goes for its tab. Yan, this is the boarding party. You will respond to the captain's order. And let's see. If you would prefer for Zional to be there, Rev, then I will give you that chance. Otherwise, we can just pull in everyone's favorite Rantal.
We can pull in the Rantal. It's fine with me.
Okay. So the channel opens. This is Dekoth. Oh, good. Hello. This is Zayan. Does anyone read? Hello.
Yes, we hear you finally.
Oh,
Communications have been blocked from this end.
this is good. I must ask first. Did Traven make it through the transporter?
Yes, we'll discuss that later.
Oh, good. I'm sorry, but I needed to be sure of that first. We attempted to engage the transporter, and just as we executed the beam, they began charging it, and we were concerned of some sort of trap.
Enough. Stop explaining. Can you get a sensor
Okay.
lock on all of us?
Stand by, Captain. I am attempting a sensor scan. This will be reason and science for Vopri with with an assist from the Jan with sensors and science. And he does get a focus here, so that's good at least.
I believe in Vopri.
Come on.
Oh, Vopri! I'm so proud.
Okay, anybody want to roll for the ship? Somebody roll for the ship.
I'm looking and rolling it up. It's fighting me. What do you need again? Sensors?
Sensors and science.
Science. Good.
Yes. Poor Raldar has been fighting with ships all day. Well, that is not a success, but it is not a complication. So, I believe I am detecting. Oh dear, I am detecting 5 life signs. 3 Klingon, 1 Trill, and one Gorn. Uh, it, which Gordon is with you?
Kresik, we are missing Raldar.
Mm, oh dear.
He's not floating around in space, is he?
There are no bodies outside. At least none that weren't vaporized earlier. Well, there may be a body out soon. I do believe Will was considering coming over via EVA before we could reach you. We may be able to conduct transporter beams safely now. I am uncertain.
Keep a lock on us. We may need to get out of here quickly. We are going to go find Raldar.
I let Croker know. I am getting a read of you in the bow section. However, I am having trouble scanning anything too far aft. There are still residual interference in the hull plating.
Try to get scans on the cargo pods.
The cargo pods? Why what were...
One of them is producing power.
Okay. I do this, Captain. I will update you as soon as I can. Do you require additional support, or do?
Oh no, no more of you are coming over here.
Okay.
All right. So at that point, I close the channel, and I'm gonna try to find this secondary power cable or conduit that was powering the computer system, and find out which cargo pod it leads to.
So you begin looking for it.
Visually and with the tricorder, it's gonna be giving off EM radiation of some kind, even if just heat.
You could have so much more than this. Can I not present you with some sense?
Okay, Mr. GM. With change plan with the tricorder. Find out where that noise is coming from.
You could probably guess it is the figure that is the ethereal white figure that has appeared at the edge of the door, arms behind his back.
Don't bother scatting. It's just a hollow projection.
Azek ignores that and shoots towards it.
Okay. Control and security, please. I'm going to call this one a difficulty. I'm going to call it a difficulty 4 roll, just for.
Ow!
Well,
You
let me ask. Are you trying to shoot directly at the figure, or you know, I'm not even going to force you to roll for this. Unless you're aiming for a hollow projector, then.
No, I'm just shooting at the thing.
Okay. So yeah, you just take a shot, and yeah, it passes right through.
I told you it's not a real astral body.
You are coming along well. I may yet make a warrior of you.
So now I'm looking for the hollow emitter.
So you look around.
Quarter two.
I will say that it takes a bit of time as he is monologuing, because it's not immediately obvious. Tell me, would you wish for greatness?
I'm ignoring whatever this is.
And what of the others? Some were clearly unworthy to start. This. He gestures over to Traven. This one is of no value whatsoever. Too close to the ilk of those
Hey,
that
fuck you. You're a little
deformed
kid
us.
to me.
Try my patience, and you will be but nourishment for our future.
Hey, don't speak to your elders that way.
Traven, shut up. And I keep on going with what I'm doing.
Yep. Okay, go ahead and give me engineering and insight here. I'll call this difficulty 1. Let's see here. So that is going to be, yep, you locate a spot, earn back a point of momentum. Yeah, you see there's an active hollow emitter. I'm going to say there's something implanted in what appears to be something near, I would say, at least. You realize that there's at least one in a sort of upper right corner of the corridor, but it occurs to you as you start looking around, there could actually be quite a number of these interspersed through the ship.
Can I disrupt it? I
You-
don't mean with the disruptor. I mean use the tricorder and just shut the system down.
Yeah, I'd say you could create a bit of localized interference for it.
Okay.
All right. I'll just give you that he's going to do that, and it begins to go staticky, and as its face just begins to lose all cohesion, you get just the moment of such a pity. Perhaps I may make something of you yet, but you have made your choice. And as it disappears, the warm yellow-orange glow of a transporter beam begins to take shape almost exactly where it was standing.
Disruptor is out.
Dekoth will likewise take aim. Anyone else taking aim?
Yep.
We're
I
gonna
would like
shoot
to take
Roldar.
aim.
I know we're gonna shoot Roldar. God damn it.
Uh, Slightly hunched, of course, as always. Your 9-foot tall Kazinti comrade has beamed aboard.
Oh,
Whoa!
God. Put him down, boys. It's ridiculous.
What are you doing here? I said no one was to come over to this ship.
Well, I politely ignored that suggestion and decided to come over anyway. You're not exactly doing great over here all by your lonesomes. You're one man down already. What's it gonna hurt if I'm here?
That's one less person on board my ship.
Don't we have a bunch of people on board your ship? I think your ship's fine. Your ship's over there. Over there. She kind of gestures. You're here. I'm supposed to be here with you.
Did you bring anything with you, or did you just bring your happy self?
I mean, do you need anything else? And she smiles winningly at him.
Yeah, a Kazinti smile is absolutely terrifying. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I believe
Most,
that
most mammals, based off of primates like us, the smile is an interrupted defense mechanism. You, not so much. That's an invitation to fight.
One you would not ever accept because you know you'd lose, buddy.
Well, yeah, no, I know that. Anyway,
yeah. Well, in all seriousness, you may have come aboard as armed as you wish, with anything drawn from the list of arms that we decided upon. I believe it's pinned in our Discord right now.
Oh, good.
Grenades.
Yeah.
Yes,
Chrissy-
we'll say I have grenades. I have the full new kit, and I have no idea where that is pinned in the Discord.
let me pull that up. But yeah, so That being the case, Woe probably has then let's see, pins. Um, with the ground assault package, there are definitely disruptor pistols, a plasma repeater slung to a side. At her height, it probably does constitute more of a sidearm. But there's a rifle, a spear, and a bandolier filled with thermite grenades.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that one.
Yep.
We're not using those. Why did you bring them on board?
Ooh, you never know when you might need a grenade. And also because Krizik has a soft spot for him. She tosses Krizik a grenade.
He catches it? I've never used a grenade
Question mark.
in my life.
Come on! Work with me!
In any case,
Any case, I point to I show everybody. You see this little thing right here? That's the hollow emitter. When you see them, break them.
Understood.
And now I'm going to go back to trying to track the power source through whatever they're using to transfer the power from their generator to the computer core.
let's see.
Oh, wait! Before I go, wait! There's one more. There's more things I wanted to do to the computer core.
Yep.
I wanted to. Okay, the data has been removed. I stopped the interference field. Now the power that's coming in, I'm assuming there's also a data line taking information back and forth from the computer.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Is any of the information that's going down there? Obviously, it's going to have to be internal sensors.
Very limited, but there's some readout. Whatever these compartments are, whatever compartments this is going to, I will give you that it seems to be in what appear to be a set of interconnected cargo compartments, or that are something passing themselves off as cargo compartments.
What I'm asking is, whoever's in the cargo compartment, they're accessing internal sensors.
Oh yes, they would have to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm yanking all the chips for the internal sensors.
Okay. So effectively blinding them.
Correct. Okay. Now, I'm obviously not picking up the power source itself on my tricorder.
That is clearly coming from one of the compartments. You can't get a precise readout on where.
One of the cargo pods, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, but I am now, with the scattering field off, I am now able to determine that, yeah, the cargo pod has got a power source in it.
Yep.
It's got to be a fairly big power source to power a transporter.
That it does.
Okay. So, can I find whatever it is they're transferring data back and forth through? The actual physical data conduit. The optical data network fiber bundle. Can I find that?
I think that
out in the neck. It doesn't have to be right here at the computer, but
Yeah.
right here in the. I can find it.
I think that you could find something that is connected into the ship for that. Yes. It is
Okay.
probably not in an easy to access area, and I would think that it is like a bit further down on the subdeck.
Okay. Well, if I can't get to it really easy, I now have a Kazin here who can rip panels out of my way.
Yeah, a thermite grenade properly placed would probably disable that pretty quickly.
A disruptor could also just shoot the damn thing and stand less of a chance breaching the hull. Well, you know what? I take that back. The hull of this ship is about 3 meters thick. Never mind. Oh, the thermite grenade's not going to do that. We're okay. Yeah, we should be fine. Yeah, should be. But yes, I'm going to find that ODN fiber bundle and break it somehow.
Okay. You start moving back to that rough location. Along the way, ghostly images appearing. Whoa, this is the first time you are truly seeing or hearing, but there it appears to be the ghostly image of a Klingon Kuhah, or rather a Hemhuch. Those are the next generation ones, like Azek. Um,
Normal Klingons, not
y-
flat-headed,
yes,
I figured, yes.
and not Discovery.
this dude here, basically.
Aw,
Oh.
Azek's a normal Klingon. How nice.
Well, yeah, he is, except
Along
for the
Yeah. Along the way, the hollow emitters seem to kick on, and this figure appears before you in soft light, or a soft light style hologram, so you can pass through it effectively.
And if everybody's following my orders, every time one of those things pops on, they're going to break it.
Abominate.
Sorry to disappoint you. It's not real. It's just a hologram.
Hey, mate. This one's so pretty, and she kind of tinkles her fingers through his face.
You have other pet abominations, I see.
Oh, it's
Destroy
sweet too.
the emitters.
Ugh, can't have any friends. She looks for the emitter. Is it easy to spot?
Yeah. I'm not even going to force you to roll to blow the emitters up with quick shots from a pistol or rifle as the party makes its way down.
Right.
Um, you find your way to the ODN cluster.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you wish to do. You will come to regret it.
Hmm.
You could.
Is there a reason we're ignoring this guy, Captain?
We're not. Yes, there is.
Okay.
Find the
Just
emitter.
checking.
Find the emitter. Break it.
Alright. She does so.
You pull
Kind
up
of
the
sad.
you pull up the deck plating. You get a vague sense that somewhere beneath part of the grav generator, um, there's some wiring that you could easily get through to, and um, probably like whatever this is, you could probably get it either with the grenade or with a well charged disruptor shot. It will. I'll probably rule that it would take difficulty 3 instead of 2 in order to hit it with the disruptor. Uh, if you use the grenade, that does create a local hazard, which would make this place a little more difficult to traverse because thermite.
Well, is there a way? Yeah. Well, is there a way to do it without destroying the gravity generator?
Um, it's
It's a
kind of
local. It's a local gravity generator, not for like the entire.
yeah. It's a
Right.
it's a localized bit of deck plating. Your step
Yeah.
would be definitely a bit lighter for a moment if you tried
Before the
to.
rest of the system could
Yeah,
compensate.
yeah.
All right. Well, then just chuck the grenade down there.
Can I just say, the smugness aura coming off of Woe right now for having grenades that the captain said were not necessary is off the charts.
That's
Just
fine. I don't care.
cloying.
Just throw the grenade down there.
Fine.
The sooner we shut this bastard up, the better.
Alright. Hang on. I gotta pull up Woe. Okay. Zachary, which thing do I roll? Where is
Let's
it?
see. I'm actually remembering for grenades. I think that it would be control and security still, and I believe the difficulty on this would still be 2, but I'm just going to double check that real quick because grenades are a slightly different weapon here. Let's see. Let's plug that up. Okay. Yeah, this is treated as a ranged weapon, it seems, so that would be a. I'm just making sure here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call that control and security, and for the grenade, I will call it difficulty 2. However, well, depending upon where people want to stand, okay.
Well, we're all go back up. Everybody just back up from where this thing is.
Okay. Uh,
Uh,
well,
can
you
I?
go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I use a value to re-roll that 0?
Uh, if you like, I could let you. You could do that, or I could let you succeed at cost. It depends on how you wish to go here.
When I said
Fellas, how
pull
do
the
we wish
pin
to
and
go?
throw it,
What's
Huh?
that?
when I said pull the pin and throw it, I meant the grenade.
Okay. Drop the grenade.
Do you guys want me to re-roll that 0 or succeed at cost?
Take. Go ahead. Do something. Reroll the 0.
All right, I'll re-roll.
Okay, what value are you using here?
You have to break things down to build them up.
Okay, I will allow that, and you may re-roll the 0 there. Okay, so 2 successes. You drop the grenade, close the compartment. There's there's definitely a as the way as the wave goes or like the compression from the explosion obviously causes issues. The deck plating is starting to get mighty toasty beneath you, but the there's definitely signs that the ODN you could guess that the ODN relay crackles for a moment because is destroyed because for a moment the in the moments before the grenade goes off, the Hemhoch appears before you again. You shall truly regret your choice. And before he can say something else or exhale menacingly, there's a very sudden interruption following the explosion. So, yep, the bundle does seem to have it does seem to be gone.
Good. Now we have to get to where the cargo pods attach to the bottom of the. They attach to the bottom of the neck, don't they?
Um, yes, for the most
Or is
part.
that near?
Although
Or is that near the?
there are some other compartments that are underslung right beneath the belly, basically,
Okay. Um.
or in
Is
some cases just forward of it, which is where your readout is basically pointing you towards.
all right. So whichever one is the one where the power seems to be coming from, or at least the closest there too.
Okay.
That's the one where we're heading.
You're already on the subdeck, so you start running down through the way, confident of little interference. You enter the nearest junction that would, like the nearest site that would allow you to get there, which takes you into a room of the cargo bay. And it seems as though, as you make your way to the bow section, you notice there are signs of what appears to be a large door, partially obstructed by cargo containers, but also with signs of significant carbon scoring on one of the doors. If you had to guess, somebody tried to blow their way through this with a highly charged disruptor shot.
From where we are, through it is where they tried to go.
Yes.
They wanted to get to the other side. Okay. Move those. I just point to the big people. Move those cargo containers.
On it, Captain.
Understood.
Okay. So, whoa, Kresic, you begin tearing your way through the containers, and you find it is indeed what appears to be quite a large-sized door. I would say it's something that would you would guess that this was a specific modification to this ship, something that is basically like a large, essentially a large cargo loading hatch of some sort, something that could very clearly be meant for unloading purposes if the place were depressurized or if this were somehow to make it into atmosphere. Alternatively, something that could easily connect to a fairly large pod. Wide enough, I'd say, for all of you to be able to fit through, standing abreast.
That's a big door.
Yep. Decoth looks over and says, Captain, I wonder if we perhaps... Oh, we may be able to get through this door by... well, we have... there were similar doors like this back on the colony. Kelsaw was teaching me a bit about it back in the day. I wonder if we couldn't use some sort of magnetic pulse in order to disrupt whatever locking mechanism it has.
Well, that could be interesting. I don't suppose we have any EMP grenades.
Oh.
Looking at Woe. Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Love that for me.
I don't suppose
I
we have any EMP grenades in your collection of toys.
Not as such, Captain, sorry to say.
We may not need them, Captain. Our scanners themselves, we could use them potentially to emit a pulse to that effect.
I don't want to burn them out. Whatever. Fine. Where do you recommend placing the charge?
Well, so long as we have them at 2 points along... He looks about somewhere around here-ish. I don't know all of this, but I just recall the general principle. Sometimes we had difficulty
Here and
with...
here. Here and here. Good.
Yes,
Who else has a tricorder handy?
I'm pretty sure that everybody has a scanner handy, except
have
perhaps
a
for
scanner.
Traven.
Yeah. All right.
Is that a science roll to do that, by the way, to turn it into an EMP? Or is that a
It's more of an engineering role,
engineering?
honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. But I would let you
Right.
assist with science if you wished.
All right. Somebody give me a scanner. Give me your tricorder.
I'd love to, actually.
Good. Give me a tricorder. So I set mine. What do I have to roll?
I'm going to call this daring and engineering with a difficulty of 3 here. But Traven, you may assist with daring and science.
Yay.
All right. I'm going to take a... Now, do I need one roll for each tricorder, or can I use the same roll for both?
The same role is applying to the whole process, basically.
Okay.
Then
So somebody gave me the momentum crest.
I did.
Okay,
I got
good.
you.
Thank you.
I would like to use my advisor talent to go ahead. I can succeed, right?
What's that? Say again?
I can use my talent before the roll to succeed, right?
No.
What was the talent?
Let me go back to advisor here. Let's see. So with advisor, that allows you...
Or was it an extra d20?
Apologies, I am just going back to the talents here. Oh dear, where did that page go? Okay, I'm just going to full screen this because it's giving me some difficulties. Let's see. So with advisor, what you can do is whenever you assist another character with your command discipline, the character assisted may re-roll 1d20. So in case Tabak, you can actually re-roll that 17 you have there. You are currently running at 2 successes. Traven, you of course may also roll with daring and science rather.
Wouldn't he have to use his command focus? Wouldn't he have to use command?
Oh, that's a good
If he
point.
uses the advisor talent.
Yes. So I think then I would actually have to. I would have to roll. I'm sorry. I would have to roll against that one success here, but I will admit I've created some confusion, so depending upon how Traven does, I may well rule in your favor. But Traven, go ahead and attempt a roll here.
Sorry, I had to reset my roll 20 and went white screen. Give me a second.
If you would like, I can get that for you.
Daring in science.
Yes. Okay, well, it's actually only a single roll on the assist, so
Oh, my
set
bad.
that down to 1 for you. Try that again. And that is a single success. So, Traven, you work with Tabak here. He seems pretty insistent about trying to do this, but it's spaced. You need to space the scanners apart just far enough to where it seems that you need to space them just far enough apart to where he can't quite be in reach. So Traven, you take over, you see the process that's going, and you get a good enough sense of what he's trying to do that you emit the synchronized pulse. There is a sound of some sort of interlocking mechanism disengaging, and the door begins to part ahead of you. There is a rush of air
Good.
from a life support that is moving as fresh as if it had been running for quite some time. The air ahead of you, it is very warm, and something about it smells marginally more sterile, I'd say.
Antiseptic.
Indeed.
Okay. The lighting is on in there.
Yes, there is some lighting ahead of you. There essentially appears to be a corridor that has a couple branching. Well, it seems at the one end to branch off into a few different directions. And at the sort of at
Does
the
this
terminus
look
of
like? Does this look like the cargo container has been modified for all of this to fit in, or it's actually specifically built like this?
it looks as though somebody has basically built. You would take a guess from this design that somebody built some sort of modular lab setup and made it seem as though they were cargo pods.
Yeah. Okay. This is purpose built. Okay. It's not a
Captain.
modification. This is yes. What?
We get in, we get what we need, and then I'm burning this place to the ground.
That will be interesting, as there is no ground in space. But yes, with this entire structure will be destroyed.
Good.
We're getting Raldar. If you need notes, get them. And then we're getting out. Weapons hot. Let's go.
Okay. The 6 of you rush down the corridor, weapons at the ready. Let's see. Dekoth is going to take a quick look at a scanner. Let's see.
I'm assuming that the 2 that we used for the EMPs are fried.
They. I think that the pulse that I think that they could handle the emission whilst working together. So I would go venture to say they are functional here.
All right, then I will pick mine up before we go through the doorway. I'm sorry.
Actually, I'm going to have Vilpry do this next thing because he is going to. He'll have some relevant news anyway. Let's see.
Oh, you love to see it.
Well, I'm just going to put that back into the threat, and I think I'm going to use it to dump what is left here.
Oh, you don't love to see that.
Captain, do you read?
What?
This is Ian. uh, I am detecting unusual power emissions, an activation of systems in the ship. It seems mm, there may be some effort to restart partial main power aboard the freighter.
Mhm.
I do not know if this is you. I am detecting. I'm barely getting your life signatures near the cargo pods. Mm, Uh, there is some instability though, Captain. I suspect there may be at rate of build up. I would be concerned as to whether the ship's warp core will be able to handle it.
The warp core. Great. Yes. Well, keep me appraised.
The
Yeah,
comm line
that's what I
is.
thought.
Yep.
Yep.
Uh,
So yeah, we're gonna go in.
yep. And the six of you storm forward
Would this be a good?
with between Azik's between a growing sweat that is starting to come over Azik and the potential buildup of other problems, consequences yet unforeseen, and the yet unknown fate of your ship's engineer. You rush forward hoping to stop it all before things go truly well beyond the line. And I think that is where we are going to have to close things off for tonight.
Yes.
Yep,
Perfect.
because we're just
To be
Excellent.
continued. To
yep.
be continued.
To be concluded.
Concluded.
Yes. This is definitely going to end with a Spooksgiving episode. This will actually, well, what we will probably do from here is we will have the conclusion of this session come next week, and then we will take at least that we'll definitely take that next week off for Thanksgiving for all of us U.S. players or for everyone celebrating. Um, but yeah, for those in the archive, this is where we are going to leave you off. So I hope that you enjoyed this little adventure, and that you look forward to what we have to do next. Um, and yeah, we'll catch you all later on. So I hope you all have a good day. If you ever want to catch these live, we are on twitch.tv/GM in the Great Barrier, and we are live at Wednesdays on 8 p.m. So please stop by. Please give the channel a follow. It definitely helps out here. But yeah, with that, we will leave off here. So you have a good night. Bye bye.